So microphones are on. Anybody want to raise their hand? Anybody have a question about specialty crops, about growing mushrooms, about anything that we just talked about? We're an open book, and I'm willing to answer any questions. And if we don't have any questions, that's okay too. Okay, we got John here. Do we have somebody else? Taylor, what do you got?
Yes, sir. I'm from East Texas, and I just had a quick question on cold calls, like for business to business, especially with restaurants and grocery stores. I'm not asking for your direct script, just curious how you approach restaurants. You know, I have like one or two in the area that definitely I'm like, yeah, they're farm to table. They've got their farms listed on the menu, easy. But what about other restaurants that they don't have mushrooms on the menu? They might be open to, you know, new dishes, but yeah, like how do you go about like approaching them?
Yeah, that's a great question. And this is actually something that we cover in Farm Launch, and we've devised a system to approach restaurants in a way which they're not going to forget you. And I think that's one of the biggest things about approaching restaurants in general is that these chefs are busy. So, you know, first and foremost, you need to make sure you're getting in touch with not only the manager, but the chef as well. And you're getting in touch with the person who also handles the money, because you need to have multiple contacts when you're working with restaurants, because these people just get way too busy to actually respond to you all the time. And there's 4 things when you go to approach a restaurant that you really need to take to heart and make sure you're bringing with you. So one is a sales sheet that has a list of your offerings. That's provided in the Farm Launch program. Then you want to take them a recipe. You want to take them a recipe card and actually have cooked that recipe. Take them a dish. I take all of our chefs buffalo chicken dip, and it is like, it's a showstopper. They're sharing it. Everybody's excited about it. And it's like, it's better than regular buffalo chicken dip. So that really turns some eyes. So we got the sales sheet. We have a recipe. We have then the actually cooked food. And then also you just want to take a business card. You want to get the number of all of the people who actually are running the joint. Hope that answered. And I hope that's going to help you on your journey here. Are you already growing?
Sorry about that. I had to unmute myself. No, sir, not yet. I've got a 1,600 square foot shop, and I'm looking to convert it to a mushroom grow business as soon as I build my main house.
Awesome. Big project guy. I love to hear it. That's been my life the last like 4 years building this place. It's been a long haul, but it's been worth it in every retrospect, just because we've gained so much equity doing a lot of the work ourselves. So John, what do you got?
Thanks a lot for this offering. The one thing I wanted to ask about was the Pro Grow Club. And I know that some of this is in development still, but if someone was to start off on a lower tier, do you think there is an option like down the road to raise to some of the higher tiers?
Absolutely. That's the whole point of the tiered system. You know, we don't want to force people into feeling like they need to start with 4 blocks. You know, obviously you're going to save a crap load of money buying 4 just because you're getting them for less than you get them for at the Home Depot almost. But to just get your feet wet, yeah, we're going to be offering upgrades. We'll be offering other grow equipment throughout the time as well. And just slowly building upon what we already have. You know, there's a ton of info here, and I think it would take somebody quite a while to actually get through everything. But we're totally open to helping people grow. Like I said, this is the step to Farm Launch. This is the step to, you know, starting your own thing and really making it something. But that's not why we're doing the Pro Grow Club. We want to have this offering for folks who just want to grow. Like, this needs to be accessible to people. And there's totally options to upgrade and do whatever your little heart desires at the end of the day.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate you being here. Thorn.
Hi there. I am in the DC area and I'm interested in the Pro Grow Club, but I was wondering how many different varieties of mushrooms are there available? Will we be able to choose, or is it just kind of random?
Great question. So when it comes to, and sorry that I didn't, there's just a lot to cover. There's a lot of species we grow. There's a lot of nuanced things here. So when I say rotating species, we usually send between 4 to 6 different species on a rotating basis. So you'll be receiving all of the oyster varieties. That's blue oyster, Italian oyster, yellow oyster, snow oyster, pearl oyster, and then as well as regular black king oysters, which are awesome grow. They're kind of like a little bit of a mutant mushroom, but those are heavy yielders. They're a mix between a regular oyster mushroom and a king oyster mushroom. So they got the best of both worlds going on. And then we'll also be doing lion's mane, and we'll throw in some other varieties here and there, but the goal is to have people successful. Somebody asked me this week, like, why aren't you selling like maitake grow kits? And it's like, because people can't grow maitake that have been growing mushrooms for 15 years, So we're not trying to set people up for something that they're not going to be able to grow right on their tabletop. But these lion's mane, blues, they're just like easy grows. They're a great way to get your foot in the door. And as far as these go, these are the mushrooms that built our business. The other specialty ones are great, but these are the ones that you can really rely on to be consistent and to have a consistent yield from week to week.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Daryl. Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. Number switched there.
Can you hear me? Sorry
Yes,
about
sir.
that.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, good evening. Good evening. I live in Florida. I own a window tinting shop, and I was wanting to utilize extra space I have to start growing mushrooms, and hopefully utilize the same $1,000 farmer rule and start my own homestead eventually. My main question was temperature. I know you mentioned tabletop growing and the small tent growing. I've got some areas in my shop that I've picked out, but I keep my shop at, usually it's around 77. It's a storage unit type of shop that I've converted. Somewhat it's insulated, but that's not quality insulated like a home, obviously. And
right.
My question was how at 77 would I need to I can either make or utilize tents that I have, a confined environment, or would tabletop work at 77 degrees for multiple species?
Yeah, so tabletop will absolutely work anywhere between really 55 to 80 degrees. Once you get super hot, the mushrooms just grow real fast. Their metabolic rate really gets up there. 77 is totally doable. You just need to make sure you're consistent with your harvesting. The mushrooms grow fast at that stage. So you may see grown oyster mushrooms from baby pins to fully ready to sporulate mushrooms in just a couple of days, or just a couple of hours. I'm sorry. Literally, they'll start growing pins and you'll have full mushrooms in 12 hours. So that's the only thing with temperature, but it's totally doable. And that's, as I stated, why we're doing these simpler species to grow, because they are more tolerant of the heat and they're more tolerant of these adverse tabletop growing conditions. But as long as you're keeping them misted, as long as you're keeping them relatively cool and out of the sun, you're going to grow mushrooms. There's no doubt. If you're going to do some sort of grow tent, or, you're going to use like a 4x4 grow tent, just want to get some shelving. You want to have some airflow going on in there. Like I said, you can keep the door open, but you know, depends on what scale you want to start. If you want to start out on a small commercial scale, I would say invest into the stuff. And, you know, really to get started, as we'd said on that slide, $600 to $1,500, that's really what it costs to do it legitimately with the right tools and with the right knowledge as far as what to buy and where to buy it. Because, you know, you need a fan, a humidification system, some lights, a grow space. You're looking at, you know, $1,500 there tops. So that's really up to you as to what scale you'd like to start at.
That brings up the question about lighting. I know most mushrooms like damp and dark, and my original plan was to start with anywhere from, you know, a handful of blocks and try out the situation, just see how they grow in my environment as is, and adjust from there. Being that a lot of them, I figured that'd be just give a dry run, you know, get a couple blocks and try them out and just see how they go in this environment, and then reach out to people like you with more knowledge and be like, hey, this is what I got with this product in this environment. Where should I do? How should I adjust?
Right. And that's the whole process. It's a ladder, right? You know, you're going to just start low tech, see what you can get done, see if it's worth your while, worth your time, and then go from there. And that's like the recommended way to start, you know. Like I've been mentioned multiple times, just throwing everything into all steps of the process is really difficult. So just get down growing mushrooms in your climate and you're off to the races.
Start journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, there's a lot in these mushrooms. They're, like I said, they're mysterious. They got their own ways about them. It's not like growing plants. You kind of got to learn mycelium, learn how different species react to different environments. And that takes time. You know, it takes a couple of grows under your belt. And that's the whole point of the Pro Grow Club, is to get you these blocks on a regular basis. So you're building upon that knowledge. You know, I know the first time I tried to grow mushrooms was before I had ever thought about growing commercially. And we had started the project and got to like halfway through the spawn phase and just fell off entirely, you know? So that's where the whole idea from this came, because if I had maybe had a starting system, I feel like I'd be a lot further along than I am now.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a plan, or someone's gone before you. But then again, there's something to be said for the ones that pioneer it. You know, that's kudos to you, and thanks for helping others that want to do the same. But
yeah, of course, appreciate you being here, Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Yep, absolutely. Daryl. Daryl, are you there, my friend? Looks like you're working with your mic. Mark, we'll move on to you while Daryl figures out his mic here, if he's there. Hey, Mark, you're up, my friend. Looks like they fell asleep. That's okay. Thorn, if you have another question, let's hear it.
I do. I was just wondering, if we join up today, will we have access to purchase additional blocks?
Yeah. So with the first purchase, you're going to get an extra block with your first purchase. So if you get the standard grow plan of 1 block, you're going to receive 2. If you get the mid-size package, you're going to receive 3. If you get the 4-block package, you'll receive 5. So, yeah, there's always options to add on more. We don't have the system built out to just do it on a monthly basis yet, but that's something we're working on.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Daryl, Mark, are you here? Are you here? All right, guys, if there's any more questions, feel free to ask. Also, feel free to reach out to us at 10 Mile Mushrooms. Sorry, did somebody say something?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Justin, go for it.
Hey, so I built a room in my garage. It's like 10 by 16 foot.
Okay.
I was gonna do mushrooms back a couple years ago, and I haven't done that yet. I was wondering what's a good place to start from that, like if I get it going again.
Yeah, so you have a space already picked out essentially, right?
Yeah, and I was gonna do like air filtration and all that.
It sounds like you're way ahead of where everybody else is. And that's great. You know, that's a blessing. So you have a little bit of a foundation. But really it's about bringing it all together, you know, bringing these, you know, these environmental factors together and making sure that you're providing exactly what the mushrooms need. So, you know, starting on a small scale is always the way to go. Learn, grow, get some grows under your belt, and then get the word out there. You know, start hitting restaurants.
So what should I do? Like small blocks or?
So are you looking to purchase blocks or are you looking to do your own blocks?
Purchase blocks, I guess, because I was gonna try and inoculate or whatever you call it. But yeah, I'd like to purchase them.
Yeah, it's definitely cutting out a lot of the labor, especially if you work a full-time job already. If you're, you know, if you're busy 9 to 5, it's tough to do this extra labor work when you get home from work every day. So if you already have a space, you already have a grow tent, and you've already have some experience, you know, anywhere between 2 to 4 blocks to get yourself going and to really get some knowledge on these different species. You know, if you're ordering 2 blocks, we're always going to give you 2 different blocks. So you'll get a blue oyster and a Italian oyster, and it's just a way to get some grows under your belt.
Okay. All right. And how do I order that?
Yes, sir. So if you guys want to get in on the club here, it's in the chat. So if you click the chat button down at the bottom right, it is the 3rd button from the edge of the page there. If you see, there is the Pro Grow Club here. I just pasted it right there. So you can go in there and then you can pick 1, 2, or 4 blocks and then pick exactly if you want to get them on a monthly subscription, a 6-month, or the yearly subscription where you get the dehydrator, the grow tent, all of the access to the community and everything else that we had talked about.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Definitely check us out. Check us out. Looks like Daryl asked a question here in the chat. Can we choose the species to grow, or will they be random? We kind of talked about that. They will be random. We'll be rotating through a bunch of different species, and starting small operations for wholesale and farmers markets definitely can be started out of a 4x4 grow tent if you're looking to do the farmers market. This tent behind me here, they're going to do, you know, so you can fit 4 blocks in here. If you want to keep them harvested on a month or on a weekly basis, you need to be putting 1 block in a week. But if you're looking to just blow it out, put all 4 in, you'll get 16 pounds of mushrooms in just a couple of days. But for the most part, this won't really cover a farmer's market. This is more for the at-home growers. If you want to get started with small markets and such, online there are 4x4 tents available for cheap. And with the Farm Launch program, we actually have lists of supplies for every single supply that we've ever used here already sourced for you in a list. So you can simply go to that list, say, oh, I need a quality fan, and it'll take you right to the link as to what product you should be using.
Hey Kyle, it's Tom. How are you? Hey, hey buddy. Hey, I missed the link. Can you pop that again? The one you just previously did. For some reason, it's not coming up. I'm just getting the big screen. There it is.
Yep. You got it.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks.
Yeah, Pro Grow Club /founders. Taylor, did you have something else? I just see a raised hand there, so I figured I'd ask.
Yes, sir. So with the spawn, I see a lot of the time it's grain spawn.
Mhm.
What kind of grain? I guess like sourcing that. Is that something, like getting it from like a cattle feed, operation, or could you expand on the getting spawn sourced?
Yeah, spawn sourcing. So, if you're going organic, it's a little bit tougher as far as sourcing goes. I mean, we actually ship all of our millet that we grow our spawn on in from Colorado because that's where they grow it. But if you're looking for local stuff, like we can get wheat here in Pennsylvania out the arse. We can get rye, a couple of other grains, and really the big grains that are used for commercial production are millet, rye, and wheat. Millet is twice the cost, but you're getting twice as many inoculation points. So when we're taking that spawn and we're putting it into the substrate, each one of those grains is going to be a little spot where the mycelium starts growing off of. So with millet, you got to think one piece of millet, a tiny, tiny grain, is like the size of like 4 millets is 1 wheat essentially. So you get so many more inoculation points. But yeah, mills, definitely the place to go. It's honestly sourcing everything that you need from the beginning is one of the more difficult parts. To find soy, to find, depending where you are in the country, to find wood pellets even, if you're in Arizona, if you're in the Southwest over there's, why do they don't need wood pellets? So to get pellets, to get sawdust, it's an extra expense for sure. And it's tough for some of those guys to actually be able to find the products that they need to even operate. That's why it's kind of shifted to supply for us, because we're in such a great part of the country to be able to get wheat, get soy, get sawdust, and ship that to other folks. So yeah, we can certainly help you with sourcing materials. We do bulk wholesale, millet, wheat, all of that stuff. But look locally first. You're always going to save more by not shipping something. John, you got another question?
Sure. So on the founding members joining that, which I am now, but the question is going into the training for the the farming training. Is that something that we want to cross reference with, or is that something we want to merge together?
As far as the farm launch program?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the farm launch program is kind of a whole separate thing. This Pro Grow Club is strictly just to get the feet wet, to get yourself in the groove of growing on a consistent basis, to really, be starting at the bottom. If you're ready to hop right into the farm launch program, that would be a whole separate thing, but obviously something we're willing to talk about if you wanted to start small and get blocks directly to you to test your grow. We could set you up on a 3-month or a 6-month or something like that, and it can be merged together. So they're set up separately right now, but obviously there's always room to grow.
Yeah, I'll email you offline. I just got my all the agriculture stuff done back. I got a property that's pending right now. I listen to all your videos. You and I've talked, just letting everyone else know. So I'm looking at right now 120 to 180 days to actually being to 500 block. So right now I'm just trying, a lot of it's really truthfully, as and you could probably, enlighten us a little bit, going out to possible investors or friends that you're going to invest into this opportunity. showing them that, hey, look, here's a block. Watch what's going to happen in a couple of weeks. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I've already got the property lined up. I've already got the land grants going. I'm shy of just a few sales to get to the 1,000, so I can apply for the grants. So, and I'm already got the property. Right now it's pending closure. So,
Dude, congratulations. This guy is living proof of the systems. He's actually doing the dang thing, a vet, somebody who has access to other funding, and he's doing the thing. So, dude, that's awesome. So glad to hear it. And we're definitely obviously here to support. And yeah, we'll talk offline. And if you need some extra help, just getting some small time blocks to your operation to get dialed in, obviously we can do that. The founding member URL, guys, that's in the chat. It's at the bottom right. There's a little chat icon. You can click on that, and that will take you directly to the founding member page there. And also, I'll try to send out an email here when we're done, just with the link so that you guys have it then. We're going to close the doors on this tomorrow. But like I said, we have a bunch of spots taken already. So hop on if you want in. We only have X amount of dehydrators and grow tents for everybody. If anyone else has a question, feel free to ask. I am super, super grateful that you guys showed up, and like from the bottom of my heart, it's really, really awesome to have a group of people together who are working towards the same thing. Taylor, what's up?
Sure. I believe on your website you talk about your master brick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You're just wondering what it is?
No, I was curious on pallet pricing. I don't think maybe I'm just blind and missed that.
Yeah, it's actually not listed on there. We just have people contact if they're looking for pallet pricing on Master Bricks. So right now we're at $725 a pallet, and that is for 576 pieces. So for substrate production, you're looking at, in your bulk materials, $1, like about $1.20, $1.25 in soy and sawdust, and then maybe another, 50 cents or whatever for bags. And then you got to obviously factor in your labor and everything else. But that's the base price there for a pallet, 576 pieces.
In those bricks, once you add water, is that a 5-pound bag or a 10-pound? I guess 5-pound, right?
Nope, those are actually 10 pounds. Yep, they're 10 pounds.
Awesome.
Yeah, so they make 10-pound blocks. They just need to, you add the water, you let them sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then they absorb the water. And by that time, they're ready to be folded, put on a rack, and then pasteurized. So it's really, we've tried to make it as simple as we possibly can. No one else is doing the master brick. So I'm really proud of that one. It's been bringing a lot of folks online with their own substrate production. This is just like kind of the ladder of things. People start with a couple blocks, and then eventually they get a grow tent, they build a grow room, they're doing 50 blocks, and then you learn the other processes while you're building the business end of it. And we've seen a lot of people be successful doing it that way, where it's like, okay, you're learning substrate production as you're still buying substrate, and you're working it into your flow. That way you're not just reliant on yourself, and even us as someone who's been doing this a while, we have backups even, we have backup spawn suppliers, we have backup people that can help us out. So it's always just nice to have that collaboration going on.
Thank you. Do you have any, obviously it's, with, it's not dehydrated. Do you know how well those keep? Because I guess I'm not fully familiar with the soybean hulls, in that. Obviously I'm not going to be sitting it out in the rain, but do you know if it loses any of efficiency or anything over time if I was to buy a couple pallets at once, or?
They're actually really shelf stable. So that was the whole purpose of them, is to create an all-in-one substrate that can be stored for, even years at a time if you keep it dry. That's the biggest thing. If you get it a little bit wet, if you're keeping them outside, you're going to grow some mold on the top blocks. It's just kind of the way it is. The rain's not going to stay out of some of these micro holes, you know, in the wrapping and stuff like that. But yeah, they will last a long time. And that goes for all of your dry substrate ingredients, all of the grain, the soy, the hardwood. I mean, they're sitting at like anywhere between 5 to 10% moisture content. So they're really dry. I mean, they need a lot of water to actually get to where they need to be. So they'll store for forever. Just keep them dry.
Okay, thank you.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, so the monthly calls, they're going to be very similar to this. I mean, there will be a schedule. So we're going to be talking growing and really trial and erroring people's specific setups, you know. So hopefully people are going to be there with their cameras on and showing us what they have going on. You know, there's no grow too small. There's no grow too DIY. That's how we like it. Someday we'll do a farm walkthrough webinar, and all of the stuff we have is DIY. I mean, it's just kind of how you have to do it for the substrate world, because there's not equipment that's just cheap to do it. You know, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars to get into actual substrate production. Yeah, Kim, you got a question?
Hey, I'm from Tennessee. Have a quick question. So I did join the founding and just going to do the one block just to see how I do. I'm not really have a green thumb, but I've been wanting to try. So we'll see how it goes. But the question I have is, so did the instructions and all of that come in with your package, or is that something you watch the videos for to make sure you're setting it up correctly?
Yeah, the videos are definitely going to walk you through it, but also you get a 1 to 14 day grow guide. So it's going to walk you through pretty much what you need to do each day in order to get a flush, you know. And really the big things are the setup, getting the tent out, getting it set up in a right spot, making sure that you have that airflow, and then just staying consistent with the humidity. I mean, you have to miss these things. That's the biggest thing, which is why once you get into doing it on a larger scale, it's just easier to get an automated system, and they don't cost a lot, but it's, you know, you got to start somewhere.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. No doubt. Glad to have you on board.
Hello, this is Mark in Springfield, Missouri.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, I'm already growing, and the rotating basis of your menu probably wouldn't be for me because I already know what I want to grow. What would be my best bet there?
Yeah, so there are other, you know, obviously you don't get all the perks, but you can buy the 4-pack cultivator kits off of our website. And there's quite a few ways you can reach out to us. You can give us a call, you know, and request something specific if you want.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that, guys. Power went out again, of course.
Hey, I got a fix for that, Kyle.
I know. I can't believe it. Of all days, it's so beautiful out. It's just windy. We have so many dead ash trees here in Pennsylvania. We lose power quite often here where I'm at.
Oh, Kyle, I have one more question. I forgot to ask. Do you have
Go
a
ahead.
minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have horses. If for some reason these got out, and this may be a stupid question, but are they harmful to any animals?
No stupid
Okay.
question whatsoever. And no, they're not harmful to any animals. All of these species are edible to the core. They're not going to make anybody sick, you know. Maybe if they eat too many actual mushrooms, they have a blue belly, but they're not poisonous by any means to any other cats, dogs, horses, anything like that.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't worry about it too much. Usually they don't pay it too much in mind anyways, you know.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'll ask a question. So we were talking earlier, Kyle, on the obviously, ultimately, if you're starting up and you're building your blocks and you're also looking at putting together your farm plan, which is already done. One of the key notes we focused on, based on a lot of the videos and conversation directly with you, was look at that scale up opportunity. You started at $300 in a basement. Now you got 10 Mile. And I'm finding funding is a lot of the key indicators you're giving different videos and the time we've talked together. Funding for buildings, funding for equipment, and then you've also scaled off to a grand scale now with the turkeys and the other things that you're planning. Can you talk a little bit on just the grant process? Let's make an assumption up to the $1,000. Now you have proof of it, and then transition into ag. I was able to ironically get my ag exemption before I was able to get the grant. So now I'm trying to say, how do I start positioning myself for those grants? And what kind of paperwork does that look like as far as developing or looking at and adjusting the my farm plan to present to Department of Ag?
Yeah, so for the Department of Ag and for the FSA, the Farm Service Agency, where they give these beginning farmer grants and loans, really the biggest thing that you're going to need is financials. So you need that, obviously, that stamp from the government saying that you're an entity that's farming, doing agriculture. And you're as soon as you're labeled a farm, you can go take out FSA grants. You can take out microloans. You can take out operating loans. That the stipulation of 3 years is only applicable to the beginning farmer owner loan, where you get the $600K for zero down. But there's tons of other programs, and they're all low interest. And really, the biggest thing that you need to do, I mean, we're working with the FSA right now on something, and they just want your financials. The last 2 years of taxes. They want to know, your future. And they actually have a sheet that you'll fill out. So it's a balance sheet. And that's the biggest thing that they need. So, when you're starting to think about this stuff, go ahead and get the balance sheet and get things filled out, because it's going to take you a little bit of time. If you have a good and nice loan officer like we do, she fills everything out for me. So, if you go in and schedule an appointment with them, they'll take the time to make sure that everything's filled out properly. And it's not the operating loans and the micro loans their work, as far as needing extra stuff other than these documents that they need for the loan application, which are just your taxes and your general information about your farm. You don't need anything else more. Now, if you're getting into grants and you're getting into state and federal grants, they all have different web portals. So it can be a kind of a pain in the ass, because they're government funded web portals and they're not very good. So you have to figure out where exactly they have the grant posted online. A lot of them are on the same website. Like, a lot of them are on the USDA website, especially like the specialty crop block grant and some of these other bigger ones. We got a $75,000 grant for quality samples program this year. And that is totally for exporting goods. But that's like some rinky dink little government entity that has really nothing behind it. They're just a little shop, and there's hidden gems out there. So my best advice is to get on grants.gov, get on the USDA homepage, and get signed up for their newsletter, because they send a monthly newsletter and they let you know when things are about to hit. So the USDA and SARE are two newsletters that I would get on, because they provide a lot of quality information regarding upcoming funding. For us, the funding part, really, it's taken up to the last 2 years to really get around, because you have to start putting on your calendar when these grants actually become available. Some of them are open for just 1 month out of the year. And if you miss the application period, there's not much you can do. So what we've done here is we have a calendar with the yearly grant applications on them. I have it in my phone. So it's like, okay, in April, specialty crop block grant is open. We got to apply for that. So finally, this year, I think we're actually going to receive a specialty crop block grant. The federal government is now reviewing it, and that's $150,000. So there is funding out there. You just need to have a little bit of willpower when it comes to filling this stuff out. Some of them can be lengthy, but once you understand the process of what they're looking for, like a lot of the grants will be looking for a project and a budget narrative, and they want you to lay out, you know, a research project or something like that. So they're all a little different, but once you get down the kind of generalized idea and use the tools available for writing the grants, you can really make an impact quick. All right, guys, we're going to call it. Thank you so much for attending the first Grow More webinar. There'll be many more to come. And obviously for you guys who are joining the Pro Grow Club, I look forward to seeing you on our monthly calls. We'll obviously be in touch. There'll be information sent out regarding getting into the membership portal, where you'll get access to all of the documentation, some of the farm launch stuff, some of the videos. We're still getting everything together, but you'll be onboarded on that within the next week or two. Expect your first set of blocks to be coming out sometime next month, and we're going to get on that monthly schedule where you're getting your blocks at the same time each month. The calls will be on the same day each month, so we're going to try to keep it simple so that we know on the 15th of each month we're meeting, and we'll be there to break it down. So check out some of the resources. If you haven't followed us on Facebook or Instagram, give us a follow. We're always trying to drop a little bit of knowledge and just help perpetuate some people into this lifestyle and to really grow in their own. So appreciate you guys. Grow much more. I will send a email then with the link if you didn't get a chance for the Pro Grow Club and want to take a look at it, or you're still pondering it. Just remember, we have those excuses, and what's stopping you but them. Appreciate you guys. Have a good evening. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle, have a good one, buddy.
Thank you, Kyle.
Cheers, folks. Cheers. Looking forward to seeing you guys.